Despite common beliefs, your future is not 100% determined by what genes you inherit from your parents. A relatively new study called epigenetics suggests that your genes may change based on the way you live. This documents an experiment that scientist Brian Diaz did looking in on epigenetics. For instance, freezing in the presence of acetophenone even when they received no shock. 10 days later, Diaz allowed the mice to mate with unexposed females. While their young grew up, many of the animals were more sensitive to acetophenone than to other odors, and more likely to be startled by unexpected noise during exposure to the smell. Their offspring, the grandchildren of the mice trained to fear the smell, were also jumpier in the presence of acetophenone. It turns out that there are things called GLOMs that allow your DNA to turn on or off certain genetic traits. This allows for rapid adaptation to your surroundings. This is important because it allows quick changes, while evolution, changes in the actual genes, takes millions of years to have any real effect, while epigenetics seems to be able to change an animal in 1 or 2 generations. So epigenetics seems like a way to have quicker changes to a species. Genetic mutations that extended the worm's normal 2 to 3 week lifespan by up to 30%. This was exciting, not least because discoveries in animals such as roundworms can sometimes help us understand processes like aging in humans. This was not the end of the story, though, as the researchers found that the descendants of the long-lived roundworms could also live longer than normal, even if they didn't inherit the non-mutated version of the genes from their parents. This is extremely important because epigenetics could also link to illnesses such as cancer. Because cancer is a malfunction in DNA, scientists are wondering if epigenetics could alter DNA to stop the formation of cancer. And if it does, this could also pass down to offspring. So we might be able to stop a large amount of genetic diseases through epigenetic therapy. Some scientists in Mexico experimented on identical twins to see how genetically different they were at different points in their life. The results are far from subtle, especially when you compare epigenomes of 2 sets of twins that differ in age. Here, on the left, is an overlapped DNA of 6-year-old Javier and Carlos. The yellow indicates where their gene expression is identical. On the right is the DNA of 66-year-old Anna Marie and Clotilde. In contrast to the younger twins, hardly any yellow shines through. Their epigenomes have changed dramatically. They found that while identical twins are young, they are genetically more similar than their older counterparts. Take, for example, Anna Marie and Clotilde. Anna Marie was diagnosed with cancer. You would assume because Anna Marie had cancer that Clotilde would also, but this is not the case. Because of the small differences between Anna Marie and Clotilde's life, Anna Marie developed cancer while Clotilde did not. We are also able to see when epigenetics affect a younger generation. 2003 experiment by Randy Jirtle and Dana Delanoy. Both scientists were working at Duke University in Durham, NC at the time. They fed some pregnant mice a diet that affected a gene called agouti in their developing pups. The gene controls fur color. Switching it off turned the normally brown mouse pups a golden hue. More importantly, it made them uncontrollably hungry, so they ate and ate and ate, and that made them fatter and fatter and fatter. Epigenetics is important because if we come to fully understand it, we may be able to change things about people that are not necessarily genetic diseases. We might be able to change people's urge to eat, or even their hair color or eye color. So in short, epigenetics is your body's ability to turn on or off certain genetic traits based on the way you live.